For as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government.
Did you hear what just happened on the House floor? Because this wasn't a gaffe, this wasn't a joke, and this definitely wasn't normal politics. A sitting member of Congress stood up and bragged, openly, that she's protecting the interests of another country from inside the United States government. After taking an oath to defend this country, let that sink in. While Democrats spend all day screaming about threats to democracy and foreign interference, one of their own is out here promising a foreign audience that America will follow our orders and do whatever they tell us to do. That's not representation. That's infiltration. And here's the wild part. They're shocked someone finally called it out. This isn't about party. This is about loyalty. This is about whether the oath of office still means anything, or if it's just ceremonial wallpaper in Washington. Because when a lawmaker says they'll protect another nation's interests from inside Congress, that's not activism. That's a 5-alarm fire for national security. If this doesn't outrage you, nothing will. Hit like, subscribe, and stay locked in. Let's watch the full clip before I give you the full breakdown.
Georgia seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A.1 of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows.
Recognized.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office. And whereas by openly admitting her efforts to advance Somalia's interest using her position as a United States representative, Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured. Representative Ilhan Omar forthwith present herself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Ilhan Omar be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker, and Representative Ilhan Omar be and is hereby removed from the Committee of the Budget and the Committee on Education and the Workforce.
All right, now that you've heard it, let's stop pretending this was some harmless slip of the tongue. What Ilhan Omar said wasn't poetic, it wasn't metaphorical, and it definitely wasn't patriotic. She stood in front of a crowd and bragged that the United States government will do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do, and that as long as she's in Congress, she'll protect Somalia's interests from inside the American system. That's not advocacy. That's a confession. And here's where the Republican was absolutely dead on. When you take the oath of office, you don't swear loyalty to Minneapolis, Mogadishu, or your favorite overseas cause. You swear loyalty to the United States. Full stop. No footnotes. No dual agendas. No, but my other country needs help too. George Washington warned about this exact thing over 200 years ago, and somehow Democrats are acting shocked that someone finally read the farewell address. The funniest part is watching Democrats twist themselves into legal pretzels trying to explain this away. If a Republican had stood up and said, "Don't worry, I'm protecting Russia's interests from inside Congress," CNN would still be running the breaking news banner. But because it's Ilhan Omar, suddenly it's taken out of context, misinterpreted, cultural expression. No, it was clear. She said what she said, and she meant it. The Republican lawmaker didn't exaggerate a single word. He laid out the oath, quoted her statements, and connected the dots with calm precision. This wasn't some partisan stunt. This was about whether a member of Congress is serving America or serving a foreign government. And when someone openly claims they're safeguarding another nation's interests from inside the U.S. system, that's not diversity, that's disqualification. The censure isn't extreme. Removing her from committees isn't radical. It's accountability. If loyalty to the United States is now controversial in Congress, then we've got a much bigger problem than one speech in Minnesota. This exchange mattered because it exposed something Democrats never want to talk about. They demand loyalty from voters, obedience from states, silence from critics. But when one of their own openly prioritizes another country, suddenly principles disappear. The Republican side didn't just win this argument. They defended the basic idea that American lawmakers should, at minimum, work for America.